Hey everybody, welcome to EDU Endpoint Office Hours. Today is October 7th, 2025, already in October. It's just open office hours today, but we have a few updates to run through. So Richard and I are kind of jump around between some of that, and then we'll open it up to you guys for Q&A.
There's actually some pretty important updates.
Yeah, if we click through, it is October, right?
There is this one.
It's kind of a big one. Hopefully you know about this one, but if you don't, FYI, in 1 week, Windows 10 is end of support.
In fact, 10 a.m. Pacific time. When patches roll out, 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's the last patch you're going to get for Windows 10.
Yep.
Unless of course you purchase ESUs. Or extended security updates.
That's right. Which you can purchase, by the way. You can purchase those right now. You may not see them yet in your tenant to be able to deploy, but you can purchase them. So don't let someone fool you that they're not available until October 14th. You can purchase them today.
Yep. You can get started. $1 per device per year for education, and then the second, and $4 for the third.
Yeah. So it doubles every year.
Awesome. Huge discount. Huge discount though compared to commercial. Those guys are paying like $30 a device.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But that should not be an excuse to stay on Windows 10, but it does give you a little bit of breathing room should you need it. I think most of the customers we worked with, I talked to one customer today, 70% done. So hopefully you're a little bit further along, but yeah, October 14th. So the next time we meet, Windows 10 will be out of support. So I expect you all to be on either ESUs or Windows 11. All right, moving on. I do have a couple of updates. I'm actually going to flip to my browser if this works here.
There it is. I see it.
Yeah, can you see this? Good. So there's the kind of the standard what's new in Microsoft Intune September 2025 blog. This posted last week. A few updates in here. I don't think anything that we haven't already discussed. There's a few things around purebred derived credentials. I don't know that I've had any of my customers actually use this purebred experience for.
I don't even know what it is.
So. Yeah, I didn't either really. So I'm gonna kind of skip over this some of this stuff. The biggest one that I do want to call out is the installer script support for enterprise app management. So if you're an Intune Suite customer and you're using the enterprise application management component of that, which is essentially our third-party patching, that lights up the enterprise app catalog within the apps pane of Microsoft Intune. So this is where we can actually source new apps, you build them on your behalf. Essentially, you can still modify them. But when it comes to deployment time, we now have support for PowerShell to call this and be able to, or I'm sorry, for you to leverage PowerShell scripts to install these applications. So if you're a Suite customer, then, and I don't mean Suite like SWEET, but Suite with a capital S. If you're an Intune Suite customer, I should say, that may be beneficial to you all. So that's exciting. But
yeah, it's really for those that are wrapping, that are used to wrapping like with the PowerShell, was it ADT or something, app deployment toolkit or whatever.
Yep.
A lot of customers use that.
Which I think it's actually owned by Patch My PC now. The PS App Deploy toolkit.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So that helps for that. And but one thing I wanted to call out though on this, if you go scroll back up, Garrett, there's right here, hardware level management. This actually ties into vPro. And I was looking at this before the call. We actually made this announcement even before the 2509 release came out. I think this was actually 2 weeks ago, or this had been announced prior to our last meeting. But I didn't see it at the time. And I'm actually kind of curious if anyone has tried to turn this on. But if you've got vPro in your environment, in the past, what you've had to do is you'd have to install an EMA server on-prem in order to take advantage of AMT. So if you wanted to get the out-of-band management capabilities of like turning on a device that's powered off and all of that, you'd have to actually stand up an EMA server. Now you can do that through the vPro Fleet, and that ties into Intune sort of. Like you don't get the remote actions within the Intune portal. You still have to do this through the AMT portal to control the devices. But I'm curious if anyone has tried this or taken advantage of it, because to me, this would seem like it'd be something that you might, like if you're used to paying for Absolute or any of those utilities to out of band manage a device, this might be something to take advantage of if you've got Intel vPro devices with AMT. So just wanted to kind of call that out, that we do have this support integrated with Intune now, but it's not in the Intune console. But you don't have to stand up the EMA server anymore. This is actually now it's a SaaS offering through Intel that you can take advantage of. So it might be easier than it used to be in the past. In the past, you'd have to do like certificates, and it was very complicated, especially back in the SCCM days, if you ever tried to integrate with that. So take a look at it if you haven't.
See, I kind of brushed over because I didn't think a lot of folks still leverage this, but correct me if I'm wrong. If you're using it, shout it out.
Well, most of their devices probably do support AMT.
Sure.
It's been complex to turn on, and then to stand up a server, get certificates and everything else that kind of went into it. But I think now it's easier to take advantage of. I just don't know if there's a cost associated with it on the Intel side of things. But in the past, I don't think there was if you were managing your server on-prem. But
awesome.
It's there now. We've integrated into Intune, so
it's there now.
Try it. Give it a shot.
Awesome. So that's pretty much for the Intune updates, but the last one that I wanted to share was actually in the in development page. So if you pay attention to this, this is updated pretty regularly, almost every month. There's new updates added to this. So everything in here is worth paying attention to. But there was a specific call out that I wanted near the bottom here in regards to the Windows 10 support inside of Intune post October 14th. So if you haven't seen this, obviously Windows 10 will stop receiving those quality and feature updates come next Tuesday. But it is important to understand that even after October 14th, that Windows 10 will become an allowed version in Intune. So the device is still running this version, can still enroll into Intune and use features, but functionality won't be guaranteed and can vary. So I wanted to call this out because I think that's I think this is one of the first times that we've actually had I think Windows 8 was sort of supported, but I think at the time it was still like the Silverlight portal, right? So for a lot of you, this is the first time we've had an OS actually reach end of support that we've always managed inside the Intune console. So this is going to be kind of how we're treating that going forward. And I wanted to make sure that you understand that you can still enroll a Windows 10 device post October 14th, right? You're just not going to get those supported updates.
Yeah, I think this isn't really that dissimilar to when Windows 10 versions went out of support. Like if you were looking at like a 1607 or 1803, like those really, really old versions of Windows 10, when they went out of support, it wasn't like Intune would stop allowing you to push things to those devices or for those devices to stop syncing. Like they're still there, but you're just not going to get, if there's new functionality, most likely it's not going to back port over to Windows 10. It'll all be Windows 11 moving forward.
Yep.
But actually, being on this page here, there's actually another thing that I found kind of interesting. If you, I think if you scroll down, there is a section in here about STIGs right here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so the security baseline for audits of security technical implementation guides. So what we're going to do here in the future is we're going to provide security baselines that audit devices against recommended configs. Now, I don't know how many of you have to audit against STIGs, but I know in our government space, this is a pretty big deal. And a lot of customers have asked us, can you provide me baselines, or can you provide me like NIST or CIS or all the various other baselines that are out there that we've provided with GPO and the security compliance toolkit. Well, this now at least provides a way to audit against that. And I know there's other tools out there that do this. You might have third-party tools that do that too, but we're going to be providing that within Intune as well.
And where this has come up to me with customer conversations is actually with cyber insurance, and you need to provide some of that guidance to qualify for a lower premium. So that could be beneficial too. Yep.
That's a good point. And I think there's one one other thing here that's kind of interesting. If you scroll up to the top,
we usually don't go over the in development, but
no, but there was one other thing in here that I found. Oh, endpoint privilege management. So anyone that's using EPM or that's looking at EPM, currently today when we elevate, the elevation is actually done with a virtual account.
Oh, that was a terrible. Yeah. I was trying to highlight that for you.
Yeah, it uses a virtual account to do the elevation, and as you can probably imagine, think of that as like a separate profile, if you will. You're not using your current profile to do the elevation, and so that causes challenges with certain applications where it's like you're running an app with a different user account. So now we're going to change that functionality here pretty soon.
No, oh, Victoria, yeah.
There's some background.
I got him.
Okay.
You're good.
Yeah. So so that should be fixed here soon, and that should make, so if any of you have been using EPM and that's been somewhat of a problem for you, that should get resolved here soon. I don't know when in development go. It's usually usually within like a sprint or 3 maybe, unless it gets pushed out. So I'd say probably the next quarter you should probably see that in there.
I usually say anything in here, you give it at least 3 months, hopefully sooner, but it's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump on. This is, by the way, this is the in development page. I'll just throw this in the chat. You guys can go read this all you want. It's super fun, and again, it updates pretty regularly. All right, so if you hadn't heard the news too, we'll stop talking about Windows 10 going into support, and we'll talk about what just released, which is Windows 11, the 2025 update, or 25H2. This blog is really designed for both consumer and commercial, and it just highlights how you can get this and some of the changes. Again, there's not a ton of new features in 25H2. Obviously, this is being delivered standalone through ISOs, but then what's different about this versus traditional releases is that it is through an enablement package. So a lot of the capabilities have already been added through cumulative updates to 24H2. And once you get this EKB come through, you'll have to restart your machine. It's a faster switch up to 25H2, and a lot of those capabilities will light up that you've already had delivered to your devices. So it is a much faster delivery to get out to your users. There's a few things too that were behind kind of that controlled feature rollout, or the temporary controlled, right? A lot of the AI capabilities like click to do and some of those features, those were only enabled through group policy or through Intune to light those capabilities up. Those will be enabled by default now within 25H2 versions. So there are still some things for you all to be aware of. There's a section here specific to commercial education customers, which we'll talk a little bit about some of these. We have dedicated blogs around this, but know that it's being delivered through AutoPatch. It's being delivered through the admin center, so you can get this through Intune today. It's not been released through WSUS yet, so that should be coming here shortly.
It'll be Patch Tuesday.
It'll be Patch Tuesday, yeah. So the other big thing is understand that this is reset the clock. So you will get full 36-month support as education customers get. So starting September 29th, I believe, that is when 36 months will kick into effect. So we're kind of starting that over again. So you should have a long time for that to be supported within your environment. There are 2 features, 3 features. I think there's 3 specific features that we wanted to highlight with you guys, which we'll kind of flip through. First, know that we also had an IT Pro guide written up by Arya, who's really running a lot of the AutoPatch team and some of the work there within the Windows Enterprise group. She's got a great blog that's highlighting a lot of these capabilities, which we'll touch on. How you can deploy it, tools and resources available to you all, that lifecycle information, right? So this is just a really great blog for you guys to review and check out. So if there's something specific that you need to work through, that you can do so. But with that being said, I think we can jump into a few of the big updates, which we've talked about last time, right? One of them being the quick machine recovery and hot patching that's now available in 25H2. But a few other things that, and Richard, I don't know if you want to talk specifically about this. I know we talked about it yesterday, but we now have the ability to remove select pre-installed Microsoft Store apps using policies. And we have an entire Learn document here. I have my sharing bar covering
It's right
my
to your right.
tabs.
To your right, it says policy based right there.
Yep. So I'll turn this over to you and you can talk about this and I'll scroll where you need.
Yeah, so one of the things that people have asked for probably 10 years since Windows 10 came out is how can I remove all these inbox applications? You know, I've written scripts, you guys have written scripts, we've all written scripts, we all run scripts to pull off the apps that we don't want. So what we're now doing is we are creating a policy, both in GPO and a CSP, which you can control through Intune, to remove inbox apps. And the prerequisites you can see on screen here, for Windows, you must be running 25H2 or newer. So it won't work on 24H2, got to be on 25. And it works for enterprise and education editions to support this. Now, it's an interesting statement because most of us, if we're doing what Microsoft tells us to do, is we should be using autopilot to deploy our devices. When you buy a device, it runs Pro, and obviously, if I'm running Pro, I'm not running enterprise education. Therefore, how does this actually work? We should see that with subscription activation, the device should upgrade to enterprise if you're coming from Pro. If you're coming from Pro EDU, then you should upgrade to education. And we've got some guidance, if you scroll down, Garrett, a bit, to that box that talks about autopilot. You're right here. So if you are using autopilot to provision new devices, you can remove apps even before the user gets to the desktop. You want to make sure to include the removal policy and configure your ESP to block until device configuration is complete. So app removal should happen during the device setup phase if the policy arrives in time. So Garrett and I had kind of a laugh at the writing of this statement because there's a lot of ifs and shoulds. And so it doesn't necessarily create a lot of confidence, but the intent here, though, is that provided that everything works the way it's supposed to, we should see that even though you are running Pro, we should uplift with subscription activation, and as long as the policies are targeted and everything applies correctly, this should work during autopilot as well. One question I still have outstanding, and I haven't had a chance to test it yet, is if I'm using self-deploying autopilot profiles, because in that situation, I don't have a user account to do subscription activation. Therefore, I don't really have a way to upgrade to enterprise or education. So that's an outstanding question I have. I haven't seen anything documented that says otherwise. Here, we're not really clear on which autopilot profile type we're talking about, but the assumption here is that it's for user-driven. So for those of you that are using self-deploy, I'm not quite sure what the experience is going to be like. I haven't seen any MVPs or anyone talk about anything yet. So this might be something I just have to sit down and try it out and see what happens. But autopilot should work. Gary, scroll back up.
Should.
The prereqs. I'm supposed to see if there's anything I missed.
All the way to the prereqs?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Yep.
Admin access, all that stuff's good. Target devices, not users. That should be fairly obvious. Most of us are targeting everything to devices anyway, so that should not be a problem. But outside of that, this doc pretty much gets you through how to deploy. One thing that, at least in my tenant, I don't have it showing up in Intune in the location that it's describing. So, Garrett, if you go down to the Intune section, it's going to tell you to go to admin. So once you're in settings catalog, go to admin templates, Windows components, and then app package deployment. I don't see it there right now, so I don't know if this is just my tenant's delayed and I'm just waiting for something, or if none of us see it yet. And
yeah, I looked in my tenant, Richard, and it wasn't there either.
Yeah. So this could be something that just comes in the November or in the October 2510 release. But if you need to do this now, or if you want to play with it now, you can go and create CSV. So just click on CSV here. This will give you the custom OMA URI settings, and you can just copy and paste the information, create your OMA URI, create the data type, and then copy in the value. And that should, you'll have to control which apps you want, send them to either false or true.
Yep.
And then you can also use GPOs.
Yep. And those admin templates should be updated. I think that was in the Windows IT Pro blog as well.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, with any Windows release, if you just install the ISO, you can get the policy definitions folder and then just copy the ADMX and ADML files out of that and upload them to your own domain controller. Yep. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, that's how you configure it. And then we've got some troubleshooting and verification things you can do. So the actual Learn article is not bad. It's fairly clean. It says it was written by AI, so I don't know. Maybe that'll make our docs better. They're at the bottom. So it's
with ifs and shoulds.
With ifs and shoulds. Hey, it's just hey, it knows that autopilot's got some challenges sometimes. Room for improvement.
See,
opportunities.
We can joke about it because we love it, right? Like
I can joke about it because I've struggled with it for so long.
That's right. You've earned the right.
Right.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Richard. So the other one that we had a dedicated blog on too was bringing Wi-Fi 7 for enterprise connectivity support to 25H2. So I don't know how many of you are actually using Wi-Fi 7 in your organization today, but now Windows should support that. The trick, though, is that it is the security type, I think, in most cases for Wi-Fi 7 is with WPA3 Enterprise and enforcing that. So for those of you who have asked, we don't have the WPA3 Enterprise support inside of Intune yet. So you still have to export your Wi-Fi settings when you get a device connected and secured with the WPA3 Enterprise profile. Then you'll export that profile and import it into Intune. And so we have a blog here that talks about how to do that. So even though the 25H2 supports Wi-Fi 7, and maybe your network upgrades support that within your environment, you still may have some challenges deploying that profile out to your devices through Intune. So just a pro tip there, but this is a great blog talking about those capabilities as well. I think the other thing I brushed over really quick was that we also have the security baseline 25H2 as well, very similar to those admin templates. We've got that updated. They've logged all of the changes to this. So if this is important for your organization, understanding what those differences are and where this may impact you in your organization is important to be aware of. Again, we always stand behind, you can treat the security baseline as kind of a guide of things you should be setting. I would never deploy it as is without testing testing a lot, I should say. Make sure it doesn't break anything in your environment.
Yeah, don't just blindly deploy security baselines.
No.
Test them out.
Okay, so as far as 25H2, I think those are the big things that we've already talked about that you should be aware of. Again, those blogs should help you understand. Go install that, test that out on a few test machines. We will have, or I think we do have, 0-day support within Intune for those feature upgrades. So if you have those feature update profiles and you're using ring-based deployments, whether that's with AutoPatch or not, you'll also want to test those as well. Moving on, though, some of you may have seen this already, and some of you may have just seen rumblings along the interwebs of some new Microsoft 365 companion apps that are auto-installing onto Windows. Mostly, I think they're running through Insider right now, but are actually showing up directly in the taskbar. So this is a Windows 11 feature. And I like the apps. Richard doesn't. So we said we would play good cop, bad cop on this one, but I actually get a lot of value out of these apps. So what these are, and I guess my taskbar isn't showing right now on my screen, but they are integrated experiences. So there's a files search app, there is a calendar app, and then there's a people app. And yeah, it's called People.
Jared, I really think you should share your screen to show them what these things look like. There it is.
Yeah,
right
well, I was gonna show them this. Okay, so
Okay.
these three apps, they look like this. Let me zoom in here for you. They're integrated directly within Microsoft 365. So when you hit on the calendar app, if you're signed into Windows with your organization account and you've got the appropriate licenses, right, your Exchange Online, etc., then you can actually see your Outlook calendar directly in this experience. Again, probably my favorite feature. I use this every day. I'm really enjoying having quick access to my calendar in my taskbar. Richard finds it annoying, but hey.
Jose's asking why. It's like, I got people here asking why, Garrett. Why do you like this?
I like it, but I have to reference my calendar a lot. Like when I'm typing an email and I need to go jump to Outlook and flip on the calendar pane, and like it literally is a pain. And so having it directly integrated into the taskbar, it's like a quick view into it. Anyways, this is rolling out now, and you should be aware of this. Some users will like it, and some users will not. This is a Learn article that will talk to you about how you can set up the companion apps, but also how you can turn them off. And Richard, do you have this pulled up to share, or do I need to flip over to it?
Go ahead and share it. I don't have it pulled up right now.
Okay.
But what's really interesting about that page is that there's a lot more about what they are and how to use them. There's not as much about how to turn them off. The only bit on how to turn them off is this little note box that you have right up here on the screen. It doesn't even actually tell you. Well, it tells you where to go, but you got 4 lines about how to turn it off, but you got a whole page on how to use it and take advantage of it. But most of us that are on this call are going to want to turn this off.
Yeah, I can't share my primary desktop, like my.
Oh, boo!
I know. Well, it's too big, but it only shows up on the main screen. Oh, okay. You pull it up.
Give me 1 sec. Let me. I'll show you guys how to turn this off.
No, well, I can show them how to turn off. I just can't show them like an example of the experience.
Oh, like the apps themselves.
Yeah, and you've turned yours off, right? So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're never coming back on.
Okay. So
In fact, I'm going to go and remove them using that policy that we just talked about. Yeah. So. All right.
Whatever. I like them. So I'm not telling you to do this, but I will show you how to do it. The trick to disable these, should your users want it, is that it's actually in the Microsoft 365 Apps Admin Center, which you can get to.
But no, hang on. Don't just go there right now. I want you to type in. Go there like you normally. Like type this in.
No.
I'll show how.
No, they know this. They know this. Okay.
Okay.
If you go to config.office.com, which I was going to say, we don't have SSO into this. We don't know why, so we have to hit sign in, and we can sign in.
All right, we're in.
Okay. Now
if I want to turn this stuff off, where do I go? I don't go to setup, right?
No, that would make sense.
Right. Okay. So where do I go?
You have to go to customization and then device configuration. And then you're going to see some new tabs. If you're familiar with this experience to deploy Office in your environment, you know this. You've seen this before. But what you may not have seen is this new tab called Modern Apps Settings. Okay. Yep, Modern Apps
Not
settings.
Companion Apps settings.
Nope. Because there's more than just companion apps. There's modern apps. So look at this. What we've got in here, we've got the ability to look at the Edge Web View, Teams Worker School, the Microsoft 365 companion apps, and the Microsoft 365 Copilot app, which you are all familiar with as well. If you're not,
which is getting better, by the way. It's getting a lot better.
So much better. Like, no joke. If you're using GPT-5 in the M365 Copilot app,
it's like 1,000 times better.
It's so much better. It's actually starting to become like a life-changing. Like when I say like prepare for a meeting, I don't just get stakeholders. Like it details some pretty in-depth preparation. It's pretty cool. Anyways, back on track.
I do not like the companion apps, but I do like the Copilot app is getting better.
Yeah, don't confuse companion apps and the Copilot app. They are two separate things. Because the companion apps are kind of like a bundled deal. You can't choose, oh, I want calendar but not people. Or I want file search but not calendar. Yeah. No, you get all or nothing. So with this, again, the Microsoft 365 companion apps, there's a checkbox here. And it is tenant wide. If I uncheck it and I save it, I will turn off the companion apps. If I check it and save it, I will enable and turn on the companion apps. They are automatically installed. They are automatically added to the taskbar. So again, it is happening by default. This is enabled by default. You will have to be you'll have to actually be intentional to turn this off in your environment. So now you know, the more you know. We're not doing this in the M365 Admin Center. We're not doing this in the Connected Experiences setup page where a lot of these types of settings are. We're doing this in the M365 Apps Admin Center under Device Configuration, Modern App Settings. Again,
and to kind of be serious about it though. Yeah, so to kind of be serious about it though, so these are going to be deployed by the end of the month. So you shouldn't see these on your current M365 apps Office deployments right now, but by the end of the month, they should be rolling out. What will happen if you don't turn it off is that the icons that you saw in that screenshot, you'll see 3 icons show up on the taskbar, and I believe they will actually they'll be open or they'll flash or something. They're like, it's going to be very apparent that there are 3 new icons on someone's taskbar. They will most likely have no idea what they are. And they'll just kind of click on them and discover them and use them if they want.
And there is a first run experience. Like you have to walk through it.
Yeah. And so like someone like Garrett likes them. You might have users that like them, but you might also have users that don't know what they are. They might create help desk tickets or who knows. One of the challenges here is that you can't really deploy this to like a test group of users to see, hey, maybe this is something that's good, maybe it's not. It's like, because it's tenant wide, it's either all or nothing. And there's no Intune control to turn them off either. You can't target a policy or anything. There's no GPO. Right now, it's just completely tenant-wide. So that might change in the future. We could see a GPO or an Intune policy or CSP that comes out that helps control those. But for right now, it's a tenant-wide policy. So to prepare, if you don't care, if you're like, hey, this sounds like something cool that people might like, then keep them on. But if you don't want that experience, I'd suggest going in and turning it off as soon as you can, because I don't know the exact date that these things are going to come out. But it's going to be by the end of the month. And there should be a message center post in your tenant as well.
Yeah, there is a message center post. Yeah.
That explains this.
Yeah. Oh, look, Stuart's already got feedback. I love it. So I think, who was it? Someone had a question. Jesse had a question of, can you actually unpin the apps from the taskbar? And users can unpin it themselves. So they have control of their own taskbar. They can unpin it. So Richard's unpinned it from his. He doesn't want to see them. But
it's not an unpin though. It's if I remember, it was actually a setting in.
You can right click on the actual app and say unpin.
Can you? Okay. I don't think I did that though. I think I did something else. It was so long ago, I can't remember.
Oh, Stuart's got the message center link in the post. So yeah, thanks, sir.
Yeah, so that should be done.
Okay, so enough about that. We've harped on this enough. But similarly, but a little bit different, need to inform you all that the Office icons are being updated once again. So they're getting a fresh feel. So there's a blog here that talks about kind of the designs that Microsoft has taken. So just from a change management perspective, to let your end users know, this right here, there they are. Look at them. Gorgeous. Beautiful. New Office updates.
They look snazzy.
Yeah, no, they look good. What's interesting is like even on my managed desktop right now, the Teams and PowerPoint and Excel, like the logos in the taskbar haven't updated, but like the Teams icon in the system tray has updated already. And then when I loaded a PowerPoint on the web in the browser earlier, the new PowerPoint logo showed up. So it's rolling out now. So you may just want to inform your users that, these are the new icons. You may not. Most of them are pretty resilient these days, but fresh feel for the Office apps. But it's bringing consistency with that Copilot app, so that makes sense. Okay, last couple updates, and then we'll take some question and answer. This is also a great blog talking about the NPU, which is the neural processing unit, and how it's paving a way to a more intelligent Windows. So when you think about those Copilot Plus PCs, talking about AI experiences within Windows, the NPU is going to be responsible for a lot of that load, even running models like language models, small, large, locally, right? The NPU is going to be important for us. So this is just an interesting blog you all might find interesting, like Richard and I did, about how the NPU is evolved, and what that's going to mean in the future for Windows, how they're integrating that into Copilot Plus PCs, and kind of the value that is there. So just some light reading if you're interested. And the last one, Richard, I'll let you talk about this one because you found this at the last second.
Yeah, for those of you that are using Windows 365 or Azure Virtual Desktop, we've got some challenges, I guess, when it comes to updating the multimedia redirection and the WebRTC redirectors. Donna Ryan from our Windows 365 Azure Virtual Desktop customer experience team wrote up a blog post to highlight how we have created some GitHub scripts to help update these, because they don't update on their own. So you'll have to update them. Like what a lot of people should most likely end up doing is when they do their session host maintenance, they most likely should be upgrading the hosts with a new image that includes all their apps and everything built into it. But if you're not doing that, and you are trying to update these, update your VMs every month, then we do provide MSI files for both the WebRTC and the multimedia redirector. So you can use those to do the updates, but we've provided some scripts to help handle that. So
yep,
that's there.
And the last thing that we wanted to share kind of relates to that. I don't have the blogs pulled up right at the moment, but I'm going to jump over here. One of the bigger updates that we released also was external identity support for Windows 365 and Azure Virtual Desktop. So a slew of links in here, because I think each one provides a little bit more to a piece to the puzzle around bringing external identity, so we can actually issue an external identity that's like a guest user in your tenant, an external user. You can actually provide them with a Windows 365 Cloud PC or an Azure Virtual Desktop session host to be able to authenticate in and leverage this. So we have capabilities now where you don't need to supply an internal account, like a service account for like contractors to use or other, right? It's kind of a bring your own identity support there. So there's some licensing requirements. There's some considerations maybe from a networking perspective, like with a global secure access, to be able to add an additional layer of security when authenticating for those external accounts that you may want to consider. But pretty exciting that we now have this, and both Windows 365 and AVD are supporting it. So it's in preview today, but definitely wanted to call this out just for you guys to be aware. So if you have those scenarios in your environment where you need to provide a secure desktop to external users, then that is now available.
Yeah,
And
this
with
has been
that,
something that a lot of people have been asking for a long time now. So it's actually huge news that it's finally out.
Yeah. Wow, that took longer than I expected, but good.
Well, it's not every couple of weeks we get a new Windows release or companion apps.
That's true. So I have not been keeping up with the chat, so
they're just making fun of you liking those companion apps. That's all it really.
Whatever, guys.
all
I'm
the
telling
chat's
you,
been.
if you use them, you will like them too. But
they grow on you, I guess. It's one of those. It's one of those things.
Try it's like green eggs and ham. Try it. Try it on a train. Try it on a plane.
I'm never
Try
gonna
it
eat
before
green
you
eggs.
diss it.
I will never try green eggs. If the eggs are green, it's a problem.
Okay. Oh, you know what? We didn't even share about the Windows XP Crocs that are
the Crocs, the
that are
50th
being
anniversary
inside.
Crocs. If you guys want to win some Crocs, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time, you got to get into the sweepstakes.
Yeah,
the link?
I'll throw the link in there. Like if y'all haven't seen this is great. There are some Windows XP Crocs that are available.
themed
yeah,
Crocs.
and they have like the little what are the little
it's not even Crocs season though. It's gonna start getting cold. I guess if maybe from Australia you can use the Crocs.
You could just lounge it at the house or something. What are the little
cold, man.
Are they called Ghibli or what are the little jewels called that you stick on it?
It's always Crocs season.
Gibbets.
Gibbets. There you go. Yeah. So they're you've got some like MSN Butterfly, Internet Explorer, Clippy, good stuff. Anyways,
yeah.
Go see if you can win some and report back if you do.
Today at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time, they close the sweepstakes. So
yeah,
but you got to enter like through Instagram. So that's too complicated for me.
Jesse's like, yes. All right, let's go Q&A. Ryan's got his hand up first. Ryan, do you want to come off mute?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Ryan McKenna. I'm a person over here at MSU Denver, and I have a quick question regarding Intune. I noticed that platform scripts for Windows, when you're assigning them to groups, you can't exclude a group at all. And I put a ticket in with Microsoft support, and they were able to help me out a little bit and said, we can turn this on for you, but it's actually going to remove all your assignments and you'll have to redo them manually. So I haven't done that yet, but I wanted to know if everyone else is experiencing that too. And am I crazy for thinking that we could exclude things before and that's been taken away? And if so, why?
So platform scripts, so we're talking about just PowerShell scripts for Windows 10, right? Or Windows 11. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of going through one right now. Hang on one sec. I should have a bunch from here. Let's open one. Because I think the exclusion, we have exclude groups. You don't see exclude groups?
I don't.
Interesting.
And you said that support said that if they turn it on for you, you would lose all your assignments?
Yeah.
Just for platform scripts or for 10?
Just for platform scripts.
I mean, I've got here, I'll just show a screenshot here. Like, I can exclude from current deployments that I've got going right now.
Okay.
I'm seeing it. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything where I can't exclude.
Okay, maybe it's just an us problem then. I'll probably ask them for more details about why this happened, I guess, but I just always assume, something changed in Intune and it's happening for everybody else, but maybe that's not the case.
And I'm not aware of any changes that we're making there to allow you to not exclude. Do you guys? Okay, so a few people can't exclude.
Yeah, if you please. Oh, can I ask really quick, Ryan, if you go into tenant admin and then tenant status, what is your tenant location? Like, for example, mine's North America 0102.
Mine's
what is
North
this?
America 0401.
Okay.
Okay,
I
I'm
wonder-
glad to
oh.
know it's happening to other people, at least. It's not just us.
How about any of you that don't have the ability to exclude, what are your roles or permissions? Are you all like global admins, or are we Intune admin?
I'm an
Not
Intune
global.
admin. I'm also a global admin, and I've not checked with my global admin account though, but let me do that really quick.
Student says global admin, but he can't exclude. Interesting. Because I'm a GA and I can exclude. At least on my current scripts I can exclude if I create a new one.
Yeah, I'm creating a new one.
I wonder if existing I can. Because I'm not aware that we're making any changes to this.
Oh, me either.
Yeah, I can't exclude under my GA account either.
Yeah, I can still exclude. But usually I'm like the last to get anything new. So I might end up being, this might be something I see like a week from now. But for the time being, I can still exclude things.
Okay.
Now, I can exclude groups. So it says when excluding groups, you cannot mix user and device groups across include and exclude. So
Yeah,
are you...
and that's always been the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
just wondering. Okay. I've got it.
Weird.
Okay. Well, maybe something to be aware of then, I guess.
There's a...
Yeah.
It's definitely mixed in the crowd. So it's not just you, Ryan.
Yeah.
How
I
about...
feel less alone.
Yeah, that's strange. I don't know why.
We'll ask around, see if that's something that's a known, and we'll report back.
Thank you very much.
But you do the same. Like even ping me or Richard offline, and let us know what support says.
Yeah, I definitely will do that.
Or
Awesome.
you can report back to this chat because now it's persistent, right?
Sure can.
Right.
It's also a team, right? Like you have a team block for this, I think, too, right?
The team is
No one
blocked from
uses it.
posting too. Yeah, the team, you cannot post the team.
Okay. Anyway, thanks guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Okay, let's see. Sandiata? Did I say that correctly? Do you want to come off mute?
Yes, how y'all doing today?
Good. How are you?
All right. I just want to double check. I think I missed the beginning when you were explaining this new companion apps. So I checked and I do see it currently already here listed for preview and it's checked. So I want to know, should things already, so, and I looked at the message there. So I want to know if it should it already be showing here under the admin center, and whether or not it's when should this start, since it is enabled already, when should it is eventually going to be showing on the tenant? Like should we have somebody go ahead and check in whether or not this should be disabled so it doesn't affect the machines?
Yeah, so it's already enabled. So
I know
if you
it was
have
opt-in.
right, so it's enabled by default. So if you don't want that, then you'll just turn it off. But as updates for Windows start rolling out, you'll see them kind of pop up. So I would expect after Patch Tuesday and with Windows 11 25H2 hopping in, you're going to see it more prevalent.
Okay then.
Yeah, it should come with an Office. I don't know if it's going to come with an Office update or if it's something that we're just turning on by date, like on a specific date or whatever. It just says in the Message Center post that it's going to happen towards the end of October, but no specific date where it would roll out. So if you don't want them, uncheck the box. If you don't care or you want to have them, then just keep the box checked.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, and is it Akash?
Yes, correct. Hi.
Go ahead. Hey.
I had a question about Windows Hello policies being deployed. I had set one up in July of this year, and based on some reading I had done, my understanding was that even though there's multiple places to actually set it up, the correct place was the account protection section within the endpoint security area. I created a policy in July, and I'm trying to change some of the settings that were deployed in that, but some of them are now unavailable. So, for instance, I can't toggle whether characters or whether lowercase characters are required in the PIN or not. Was that the wrong place to have created it? Has something changed for Windows Hello Intune policies where they should now be recreated in some other area? I wasn't sure if some changes had been made because I thought I had created it in the right place, and this was just a few months ago, but I don't seem to have the ability to edit those. I can view them when I'm in the view area, but when I go to edit it, I don't see any of the options.
I'm not aware of any changes there. That should be that is the place where you would want to create them. But as far as not being able to adjust them afterwards, that I'm not seeing that. I don't know if anyone else is seeing that on the call.
So one thing I've found, and I don't know if this is only in our tenant, when I try to create a new policy, I'm also no longer seeing the ability to require characters that are uppercase or lowercase or digits within the PIN from the endpoint security account protection area. Is that what others are noticing as well? Settings catalog. And so is the settings, because I thought settings catalog was the older place that you weren't supposed to be using, but perhaps I've got some bad info.
Yeah, unless something changed here. But I see the same thing under account protection. I don't see those options anymore.
Okay, so it's not just our tenant. That's good.
Yeah, it's not just you. Zadai says he doesn't see hello profile type under account protection. Yeah, it is under account protection. It's still there. If you go to account protection, if you make a new one, then at least I see it. But there is a Windows Hello for Business under there, but it doesn't have the complete list of. It just has basically device scope settings for PIN and expiration. For PIN history, maximum PIN, minimum PIN, and then the same thing for user scope settings. But I don't see any of the other stuff that you're talking about, Kosh.
Yeah, I see the same thing as Richard now.
Yeah.
So
it could be then that settings catalog is the place we're driving people to, but I haven't seen any. There wasn't any like blog post or anything that went out that I'm aware of. Usually, Garrett and I catch those things and we tell you guys about them.
Yeah, fair enough. And I'll go check again, but I thought that the settings catalog didn't have the specific settings I wanted, and I think I had to use CSP settings, but maybe I'll have to go recheck that because I think some of I'm trying to avoid creating multiple policies for what should be just one thing, which is Windows Hello, but it seems like not all of the options that I want are all under one area. Is it safe to be using the CSP for everything? I mean, is that like, is there some recommended place to avoid having to have this problem again?
CSP should be fine. There shouldn't be, if what you need is in the CSP, then you shouldn't have to move it to settings catalog. You shouldn't have to move it to, endpoint security or wherever else we decide to change it to, because the CSP is effectively what most policies are going to boil down to within Windows are going to be CSPs. However, you might find that some things are derived from group policies. So if it's like an ADMX backed policy, for instance, in general, some of those things you'll notice that we have direct CSPs for, but we may not have CSPs for every ADMX backed policy. And so for those, when you go into settings catalog, we've now merged the admin templates. We used to have a separate admin templates in Intune. Now we've merged admin templates in with settings catalog. So what you might find is that some of the stuff you might find that within settings catalog under the Windows Hello for Business category, but then you might also find under admin templates that there might be something in there that you might have to set as well. So because there might not be a direct CSP for a setting. So it's been a little while since I've set up a bunch of Windows Hello for Business stuff, but you might find that you have to go to admin templates to find some of those other things.
Okay. All right, I'll check that. Thank you.
Interestingly, it's still in the docs.
Is it still docked?
Yeah, I when I tried to look it up, it looks like it should be there, but I'm not seeing it there. So there seems to be inconsistencies in the documentation.
Yeah, it's possible that they're in the process of updating this to pull some of that stuff back into settings catalog. But myself or Garrett haven't really heard from anyone that this is a change that we're in the process of making.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Al needs to update it, Tom.
That's another inside joke.
Is it Al or is it AI? We don't know.
We don't know.
Don't know.
The lowercase L and a capital I looks the same. So is it Al or AI?
This is
The
all
world
Al's
will
fault.
never know.
We're one big Al bubble.
I was very confused for a second until I looked at it closer and I was like, oh my God, it really is Al.
Yeah, there's a guy internally here named Al. And so we were just talking about Al, and Garrett was like, you could also think of that as AI. And I'm like, maybe Al is AI.
Or
Never
is
know.
AI Al? We don't know.
We don't know.
That's what happens when everything goes to sans serifs fonts. Those weren't just decorative, they were actually informative.
Exactly.
Weird AI. All right.
All right.
Awesome.
We are at time. Did we get
Yeah.
most of the questions? I don't know.
I think so.
Okay.
I have to say, guys, that was awesome participation amongst you all, helping each other out. Like with Ryan's question, to hear everybody checking their tenants. I love to see it. So thanks for joining today. Be sure to enter the sweepstakes so you can win your Crocs. We will see you guys in 2 weeks, October 21st. And yeah, thanks for joining. Have a great rest of your week.
All right. See you guys. Take care.